Three, two, one.
It's a sunny Monday afternoon, ciao boy, and I'm glad to be in your presence. You, the mixed martial arts monk,
Yeah,
and
specialize
I'm
in food G2.
yeah, exactly, food jitsu, fat jitsu, and right now I'm sitting up here in COVID territory, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I guess the whole world's in the same condition now, right? Basically, everybody with restricted movement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
got to be
well,
good for yours.
yeah, it was. It's been very stressful actually. Not just me because I'm with my parents. We got stuck in the U.S. recently, and it's really a struggle and when to go because we need to concern about our visas, everything, and also the flights got canceled and got family back home. So it's a lot of things going on. But today we're going to talk about something just news just announced just now, which is UFC 249. So Rob, what do you think on that? What's your thoughts?
It's going to be odd to be in a stadium full of nobody. You know what I mean? Like an empty auditorium. So I think they're doing it at the UFC Performance Institute or something, aren't they?
I don't
Or
know because I read some news, some on Instagram, of course, and saying there's an island in the west coast, native island might be hosting shows in the future, and also Belarus, they're offering a deal to the UFC that they have because now soccer games are still big in Belarus, so they might host UFC shows in the future. But I don't know about this fight. Yeah,
well, I'm not entirely sure what they're thinking, other than keep market share. And can you imagine? Nobody has anything else to look at, nothing else to watch.
right.
So
Well, people can
they're
watch
really
the previous fights, right? And I don't know the moment I heard about this matchup, I just I have very mixed feelings that it's not fair for Ferguson,
it's
and
it's
he's
horseshit.
made that far, and the Habib fight might be the fight in his career, and now you got Justin Gaethje. What if he get knocked out by Justin Gaethje? How's the story going to continue? So for
Right?
professional MMA, it's all about like the to build stories, right? And I don't know, man.
The story, four times they were supposed to fight already. Four times some miscellaneous thing happened, some accident, some act of God, whatever, they've each been the reason. Two times each of them pulled out. This is this is something that has to happen, and you can't short circuit this by robbing Tony of his moment of glory. I mean, they already took the belt from him. He didn't lose it. He hasn't lost. They took the belt from him and gave it to Khabib. Honestly,
Well,
is Khabib any less deserving? No, he's not. Of course, he's deserving. But the whole problem is that they deserve to fight. And Justin Gaethje has had, he's had some wins, some losses, more wins than losses. But uh, does he deserve? Maybe he's next. Maybe he's, one or two fights down the line for these guys. But here we go. Something, another fly in the ointment for Tony Ferguson. One more hurdle to climb. And I think that Justin Gaethje is, he's not a unique problem for Ferguson, but he's still a dangerous guy. I mean, Barbosa was piecing him up and then thought he could escape along the fence, and he got clipped. Barbosa went to sleep. That could happen to anybody. That could happen to Ferguson. That could happen to Khabib. It's the game.
yeah, I just worry about the Ferguson's career, right? And also from the promotions perspective, of course, they're gonna find the fighters who are available, and also fighters who can fill up this space, right? And also about levels, and also about and also got to be in the U.S., right? Another issue. So right now it's really the worst time for any sort of traveling. So yeah, I really understand from the promoter's perspective, but the thing is, does UFC 249 have to happen where we can just, I mean, I can hand on watch UFC Fight Pass, we don't, of course I understand we need to put on a show, but the thing is,
Mm.
I don't know if there's gonna be any audience. I don't know if it's to be sure for sure no audience. And what if someone catches virus, right?
There will
And
be no crowd there. There'll be no crowd. So it's just going to be, the backstage, the UFC workers and the fighters and the coaches, officials. I don't see it, security. This already is too many people, in my opinion.
yeah,
Uh, Given the parameters that we're all supposed to behave within, what makes them special? You think fighters can't get sick? You think coaches can't get sick, or family, or whoever's there? This is it's a kind of insanity or arrogance. It's a kind of arrogance, and you can't put something in front of fighters because they'll do it. You can't offer me somebody. I'm in here and I'm
there's
told
no
that if you
chemistry,
offer
Rob.
me a fight, I'll still take it. I'll still take it. It's up to you to be responsible and not offer me the fight, because once you're in fight mind and you're training, and somebody says, "Yeah, Chow Boy, I got a match for you with XYZ UFC guy." If you've been training all this time, you're just going to take it. And who knows what kind of financial duress they're under. Some of these guys, not everybody makes huge bucket loads of cash for a simple appearance. So a lot of these guys, yeah, they got a bunch of fights. They don't have a lot of money saved up from this.
Right.
Every fight camp costs money. So now, is Tony in that position? Is Gaethje in that position? Gaethje stands everything to gain from this, nothing to lose. This is all Tony to lose here. So I hope they gave him a stupendous amount of money.
Well, well, I really see what you mean. The thing is, of course, it's a good opportunity to take Tony Ferguson a big fight like that, and also Tony Ferguson, at Habib doesn't, it's not possible right now because of the pandemic. And okay, the UFC says I'm going to give you another fight. Well, looks like everything's settled, as you said. Right now, it's just not good time. It's just not a good time. And I mean, lives. Catching virus is not. It's no joke. And and the thing is, this virus, what I heard, is very tricky because some guys, they're really strong and they're young, but they catch the virus and they passed. And some
Yeah.
older people, they seems weak. Somehow they survived. And also
Yep.
there's a period you catch it and you cannot tell. It's not like you start to have a fever, start to cough. It's not like that. And also there's some article says during the time you cannot, there's no symptoms. It's when the virus actually most active. So it's very very dangerous right now, and that's my opinion. Number one. Number two is down to the match. Yeah, I mean, just down to the matchmaking perspective.
Right.
It's, of course, this fight is going to be so exciting. I think it's going to be so badass. But the thing is, it, there's really no chemical. It's like there's really no like a chemical reaction,
Oh,
right?
no
It's
chemistry.
not as, yeah. There's not the same thing. It's just okay. Hey, do you
Let
want to eat something like for lunch? Do you want to eat something for Oh, I really want this, but we don't have that. How about this one? It's your desire. People actually pay
it's
to
it's not
for what they
organic.
want.
Yeah. No, nobody needs to. I mean, yeah, maybe Gaethje and Ferguson will have a great match. They're game combatants. A lot of respect for everybody involved, but really, uh, Khabib cannot get away with fighting somebody besides Tony again. I don't think that he should be able to, like, without huge amount of shade being thrown his way. And Tony does not deserve to do anything except fight for a belt, the
Right.
belt, the undisputed belt. I mean, I've never seen somebody so unlucky right now as him. So that that kind of seems like a bit of a stumbling block in getting me excited for this. Is that it's just the injustice of him having to fight another tough guy just to get where he has to go.
Right. Yeah, I mean, talk about replacement because if we see any other cars, there are always more options, right? But right now, like what we just talked about, first you gotta find someone that still trains, right? During the epidemic, and also someone in the U.S. and someone their level is capable enough to take a title fight like that. So
Yep.
you compromise too much, and also as you said, there's really not much chemistry in this fight. It's not
It doesn't like it. Like it's not like they had a history. It's not like they ran into each other before. It's not like they're fighting for the same spot. Tony has been at the top of the division for the last 4 years, 5 years. He's literally been in the top five for 6 years, I think, 5 or 6 years.
right,
So this this is something that's long overdue. He has a belt. This is his shot, and the disease is now getting in the way. He hurt himself, came back in record time, smashed a bunch of tough guys, and he's back in the picture. He hasn't lost, and so the idea that he has to fight somebody else is just irritating. Um, I don't know. Also, don't know who else they're going to put on this card. So great, you got two guys. Who else is going to do this? I mean, Tony's a unique guy in that he trains mostly by himself, right? You don't see a lot of videos of Tony training with in a big gym with a bunch of people.
right,
He gets specific training partners for specific things, and that's it. And like he'll find a guy if he's fighting a lefty, he'll find a lefty and work with that guy. If he's fighting this guy, whatever. But in general, he doesn't have like big training camps, and he's not at Jackson's, he's not at ATT, he's not
right,
at at the Alliance or at AKA or whatever. It's just not. All these other guys, they require a huge group of people. Have you ever seen Khabib go anywhere? Khabib doesn't go to the bathroom without 10 people. You know what I mean?
right. Yeah,
Like he rolls with an entourage, coaches, teammates, training partners. Then there's the moral support group, the
yeah.
various hangers on, and then there's the family members and his cousin and his father. And man, like he's not fighting. He was never going to fight in this kind of conditions.
Right. And also, I read something really makes sense because, well, of course, we all think the same way, but we want our friends who are listening to this know about this too. Talk about title fight. There's the title challenger. They're more hungry because they don't have that belt. They want to have the belt, but the belt holders they already have the belt. They already make that like massive amount of sacrifice and also amount of work. So there's a risk for them to lose the belt. It's gonna be a huge cost for them, and there will be like huge detour to get back, and we don't know if they will get back. So that's why, like a few days ago, people say, "Oh, Habib, you chicken out." It's not true, and even Ferguson right now, it's not like a I mean, that's why I really feel Ferguson right now because can you imagine how he feels right now? I don't think it's like I will fight anybody. I think that's a lie.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Okay.
fight
So
anybody. I mean, that's a cost, big cost.
what if he's not motivated? Right.
Right.
I think I get what you're saying. What if Ferguson's not motivated? Um, he's like, why am I fighting this guy who 2 fights ago lost or 3 fights ago lost? Like I haven't lost in 13 outings. What what do I got to do? You know,
Yeah.
to get a fair shake. And there's no reason that Ferguson should have to, other than this COVID thing. And he's been inactive for a little bit already, so should be interesting, man.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I
I'm
just
looking forward
get
to seeing who else is on the card
the
because
feeling is
almost
not
everybody's
there.
camp.
Yeah. I mean, just the feeling is not there, right?
Oh,
It's like how to say you don't get into that zone, right? If I pre-fights promotion, it's gonna be built up on how to
so
say the
here's
up
something
on the
tr-
feelings, not like you build
mhm,
stories after you make a
you can't.
like last minute matchup and then you build stories after that. There's no story. oh,
You're
maybe
right.
maybe we
Right.
could get down to more than like a technical. We can ignore all the stories. We can maybe they can promote in this perspective, like what's the percentage of which way to winning, right? It's more like a technical, to
But here's the other question. So a lot of that is fueled by Vegas money, by betting money. Do people right now look like they want to spend extra money on stuff?
no, no,
No.
no,
Two, two. If you don't have the gate, so that you're not going to have 20,000 people in there watching this, so you're missing that as well. And three, you're not going to have pay per view because I think they're thinking that everybody will have nothing else to watch and they'll be starved for sports and they'll watch it on pay per view. The problem with that is that most pay per views, what's pay per views like $50, $55? I don't
yeah,
know. I don't order it, right? So the point is that if you're going to do that, usually you have a group of people over. It's a bunch of friends. You got five, six friends. Everybody throws $10, brings bags of
right,
chips, some beer.
right,
You hang out. You watch together. We're not doing that either. So,
right,
so now where's your pay per view market? Your pay per view market is nil. They're going to be severely disappointed by what they get. And are you going to get the same kind of fight that you'd get if there was the atmosphere of fight week and the reporters and the build up and the huge crowds and the noise? You're not going to have the press conference atmosphere. What's that going to be like? There's not
right.
going to be a press conference.
And also the
There's going to be five
weigh-in,
even
yeah,
spaced apart from each other, each with their own microphone because you don't want to share a mic. You know
right.
what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things to think about,
Yeah, you
and
don't want
it's
to
going to
share
be
the mic.
weird.
Yeah,
And
that's a good point.
as a fighter, I can only say that the smallest thing can put you off.
Yeah,
Small. So if there's anything outside of your routine, if there's anything that there is, like you have some excessive tasks to complete
right,
that you didn't expect to have. If you expect it, it's fine. But if you didn't expect to have it, this throws you off. It could be a day or two before. It doesn't matter. These guys are cutting weight, man. These boys are cutting 20, 25 pounds each. Well, definitely Khabib is cutting a lot of weight. Gaethje in this case is cutting some. Tony's cutting some. Everybody, they're grouchy and
it's no time,
everything's
man. It's
gonna,
no time.
it's
Today
gonna be
is the
lacking,
6th. There's no
right?
time. 12 days.
No, man. This is a recipe. See, my if I was to think and put on my Alex Jones brand name tinfoil hat and start thinking about conspiracies, I would say that the UFC is very eager to throw an event in which the guy who is likely to win, because I think Tony beats Khabib in most cases, most scenarios, I can't see Khabib winning that. But I think that they're setting it up so that Tony loses and they maintain this massive Arabian market that they need. And they just keep throwing more guys in front of Tony and more guys. Okay, well, if you beat Gaethje now, like maybe Gaethje's the antidote that it's the problem for you because Gaethje's got a steel chin, and so does Tony. But Gaethje hits way harder than Tony. Tony's not like a one hitter, go to sleep guy usually. He's cut you, break you, wear you down. You start making mistakes, and he chokes you or elbows you to. He doesn't put you out cold in the mat in the first 5 minutes. That's Gaethje's style, man. He's putting people to sleep.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very, very risky fight for Ferguson, and I think it's even more risky technical wise than Habib because I don't think Habib would knock out Ferguson, right? He may be just gonna grind him for the whole round if Habib wins, right? So, but yeah, the Justin Gage will bring you some brain trauma, in a split second. So it's not a stable um, controllable. Not, I mean,
No,
we're not controlling fights, but I'm just saying to
I agree.
maintain your to regain your belt, or even
I
for your
agree.
long lasting career, what's the trauma is going to bring in your career. And also talking about successful career, that's another topic me and Rob will talk about today. So that was for our input of this last minute. Now, I mean, it's already we have 2 weeks, but there's last minute matchup decision of the main event of UFC 249. So yeah, I mean, we really hope things will go well, and the virus, that's the most important thing, is beyond anything. That's beyond anything. You have to respect that. You have to respect the Tao. What is Tao? Tao is the way.
Look,
Okay?
look, I think that our last 75, 80 years, we've been able to kind of sleep a little bit on diseases, like we
Yeah.
kind of got a big jump scientifically on most diseases, like on contagious diseases, flus and colds and stuff. And so we got this kind of buffer zone where we all we didn't worry too much if somebody coughed in our direction. And this is worldwide pretty much, like, and now we're getting a reminder that the littlest things on the planet can be the ones that drop us, mighty and smart as we are. We don't stand a chance against the things we can't see.
Yeah, and also I read some news about, because the global warming and some like really ancient viruses were hidden in the hidden in the like snow mountains, and the
Yeah.
melts down and activates those viruses. This is possible.
It's
I mean, that's really
it's
scary.
in the glaciers. It's in the glaciers, because you got to think glaciers and a lot of the ice that's covering the polar caps are 10,000 years old. That ice has been there 10,000 years. There's stuff frozen in it,
Yeah. Well,
and
we really
simple
hope
organisms
that
that
we really
that
hope
made it.
that the those species live inside of the Earth will come out and save us. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that was our input on this UFC 249, and see you guys.